A few short days ago, Apple had their annual WWDC event. It's their developer conference where they basically talk everything software. Now, coming into this after last year's WWDC event where they announced the M1 Macs, I was half expecting a couple more of those hardware announcements, but no such luck. What we did get, however, is iOS 15, iPadOS 15, WatchOS 8, and even the brand new Mac Mataray. But what exactly are these new features? Well, let's talk about that, shall we? Hello everybody, my name is Robert and this is Review Clue. Let's start off with iOS 15. There was no big visual overhaul here like we see with Android, but what we did see was a lot of cumulative features which really help to make the iOS device a little more social and actually helps with your well-being and more. Let's start off with FaceTime because there was a big update here, and that was FaceTime links. Basically, we can start these FaceTime calls with anyone, and I mean anyone. Even if you have an Android device or a Windows computer, anything that has a web browser, you can now join these FaceTime calls. That is really important stuff, but does make me feel like they're just trying to copy Zoom. You get noise reduction and wide spectrum modes as well, so if you don't want to have a load of background noise, the iPhone can actually just take all of that out. And wide spectrum mode is really good for when you've got a big family around and everyone wants to be heard on that call. We have portrait mode for video as well, so you get a nice little blur in the background. Again, nothing big, but still some really nice little features. SharePlay, however, was a big feature, and this allows you to join with your family and friends and share music, videos, TV, games, and even your screens. This is all linked up together, so you really can have a watch party wherever you are. I feel like this feature is about a year late. We could have done with this last year during the whole pandemic, but to see it here now is great. And being able to share the screen makes it even easier for me to be able to actually help my grandparents and my parents with any IT issues they may be having with their Apple devices. I can simply jump on a call with them and they can share their screen and I can walk them through step by step. Messages got a small overhaul as well, and that is the Media for You tabs. Now basically, if me and my friend are into the same sort of music, he can send me a track or an album that he thinks I might like. Now of course I might not want to look at that album right away, so whenever I go into my music app next time, it will actually show in a little tab which is called For You. This is what people have sent you. This works across videos, news, and as I noted, music. Some really cool stuff, but I don't think I'll really use this feature because I don't have a lot of friends who have iOS devices. I have many friends that have Android devices and this feature just doesn't work. Notifications got a small visual overhaul and they also get clustered together into different sections, so it just makes your notification bar a little less cluttered. We also have focus mode, and this is about as close as I think we're going to get to multiple displays or multiple desktops. Different focus modes allow you to turn on and off certain notifications at certain times. For example, I can have a work focus, where I will disable any kind of notifications from YouTube, Gmail, or my friends. And then I can have a more social one, where it will disable all of my work notifications and show all of these other notifications from friends and family. Focuses are great and they are a step forward, but I really do wish that we had multi-platform or multi-user support on the iPad, which is still absent somehow. Artificial intelligence was the name of the game here at WWDC, and I'm really glad that Apple have finally decided to actually start doing stuff with their neural chips. Now, this is really interesting. Whenever you take a photo or any photo in your gallery, if there is text or a phone number there, you can actually just hold on it and the neural chip will understand and be able to copy or even make those phone calls with the numbers that are shown in that picture. It's really cool stuff, but it's stuff that we've seen before with Google Lens. It's just done a little bit better here. And this is the running theme of this event. Many of these features were already a thing, but Apple has just somehow managed to add this extra bit of polish to make it feel like an actual product. Let's keep talking about artificial intelligence, and actually you can now search your photos using Spotlight. For example, my bunny Icarus, if I just want to look at pictures of him, I can Spotlight search rabbit, and it will go through all of my photos and pick out any photo that it thinks has a rabbit in it. This is really clever stuff, and again, it's stuff that's been happening with Google Photos for a while now, but it's nice to see it here on iOS. Photo memories are just a mix of photos and videos that come together nicely in one place to give you a little bit of a snapshot of your day or holiday, or any time period really. You can add your own music and transitions to these, and even add your music from Apple Music. I really don't see myself using this feature, but if, for example, you really want to create a video to share with your friends and family about that holiday that you went on, it's now simpler and easier than ever, thanks to that neural chip and a little bit of artificial intelligence. You can now basically stick anything in your wallet, which is really cool. Wallets are now actually starting to accept more car keys, your house keys, and even your ID in certain US states. This sounds really dystopian to me. Now, Apple claim that all of this is fully encrypted on the device, but I know that Apple haven't had the greatest track record in the past with their security, mainly iCloud leaks. So I'm not sure I would actually trust them with my ID card. And they believe that they can start to move this out through TSA checkpoints. And you can literally just tap your phone to share your TSA information and all of your ID information with them. There was a better weather app. It wasn't particularly interesting, but it's there for those who want it. This includes better animations and more in-depth information like pollen count. Apple Maps got a massive update, and I feel like people didn't really care about it, but it is really, really interesting stuff. For many cities around the world, mainly London and a couple of US cities right now, we can actually zoom in and we can see curated 3D models of these cities in more detail than ever. It looks visually stunning and almost like a video game by this point. It's really nice to see, but I don't really see it being a use case for using Apple Maps over something like Google Maps. While driving along, we do get a lot more information though about lanes and what lane you should be in and which lane you're actually in. This is really clever stuff and stuff that we haven't even seen with Google Maps. So this will be coming to CarPlay soon as well, but right now on the iPhone you can actually start to drive and it will give you much more contextual information about where you should be. We also got some AR updates as well, so when you walk out of that subway station and you don't really know what way to go, just point your phone up, turn it around a bit, and it will actually give you turn-by-turn navigation in AR as to where you should be going. AirPods got a few very small updates, nothing particularly interesting. Conversation Boost lets you boost a conversation. When you look at someone, it will actually use its bidirectional microphones to work out where that sound is coming from and amplify just that sound, making face-to-face conversations even easier without having to take those buds in and out. They can also announce notifications now and are much easier to find with the Find My network. iPadOS got a bit of love here too, and again, only very small updates, but still really cool stuff to see. For example, we can now pin widgets directly to the homepage, and these widgets have a new size as well to give you even more contextual information on your iPad. App libraries are now a thing as well. This is like we had on the iPhone, so we can now declutter our workspace on our homepage by just removing pages that we don't want and just having that app drawer there the whole time. Multitasking's gotten easier as well, with 3 little dots along the top, which let you quickly and easily pin whichever app you're using to the left, right or centre of your screen. Now, I've been using iOS 15 for the day, and I find that these 3 dots can actually be a little bit distracting. I feel like they should disappear if I'm not trying to actively use the multitasking, because they do tend to get in the way. The Notes app got a little bit of an update as well. Namely, we can now take quick notes by pulling up from the bottom right corner and really quickly jotting down a note. This is really good because I do tend to use the Notes app a lot, especially while researching these videos. You can also tag people a lot more easily and share your notes around, so it's really becoming a collaborative tool, a little bit like Google Docs. Now, before we proceed with this video, if this is the first time that you're seeing my face on your screen, then 1, lucky you, and 2, go down there, hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification icon, so you get notified every time I upload. I've got a ton more content coming up and I'm really excited to share it with you all, especially the S-Scoot bike. I actually got this thing fixed and I'm really excited to do the full review. Translation now works on iPad. It was distinctly missing from iPadOS last year, but now it's here, it's really good and I can see myself using it. You can even practice your handwriting. Okay, this next one I did fanboy pretty hard. But Swift Playgrounds was the way that they're trying to teach you to use Swift, their programming language. they had a big update here, and that is you can start to actually write your iPad apps and deploy directly on the iPad. This is a huge step forward. For a very, very long time, I've always wanted to be able to use Xcode on my iPad. And I feel like this is a step in the right direction now, to be able to quickly create big prototypes and even publish them to the store if I really wanted to. For a developer, this is an absolute dream, and I'm super excited to give it a try. We had a ton of new privacy stuff, and actually this stuff is pretty cool. For example, Mail now doesn't track your IP address or your location. Same for when you're surfing on Safari. There are a lot of Safari updates, but this was the most important one to me. We're able to now surf without giving people our address or even our location. Some big updates for Siri as well in terms of privacy, and that is she works completely on device now. Well, for the most part. Of course, you can't get her to play certain types of music that you don't have downloaded, but almost all of her processing is done on device now, which means that you get a response a lot quicker and it's not being uploaded to some server somewhere. Health and WatchOS got some really good updates as well, mainly walking steadiness. While walking, your watch can now actually tell you a little bit more about how you're walking and give you trends on how your health may be changing over time. You can also share this data with friends and family. So for example, if my grandmother had an Apple Watch, she could share her data with me. And if I see a trend which is particularly worrying, for example, an elevated heart rate for a long period of time, I can get a notification for that and I can find out exactly what's going on at the tap of a button just to message or call her. This is pretty dystopian and pretty weird. I'm not sure many people would agree to have all of their health data shared with friends and family, but it is a feature if this is something that you worry about. WatchOS now has a reflection. It's basically Breathe, but you're reflecting upon your day. We have Tai Chi now as well, and a load of new stuff for Apple Fitness Plus if we care about that. There are some different artist events coming up. With the Peloton, I really don't care about Apple Fitness Plus, though some people may do. There is a lot of new features there. You can share GIFs on your Apple Watch and even have portrait mode photos. So for example, you can actually put yourself and maybe me and my girlfriend in a picture and have the time just behind us. It's pretty useless, but another way to be able to customize your watch is always appreciated. But let's talk about macOS, because this is where some of the most exciting updates came in for me. There was a big update to continuity, and that was universal control. Basically, if you have an iPad on multiple Mac devices, simply place them close to each other, and you can use a keyboard and mouse from one device across all of them. This is really, really powerful and exciting. For example, I can put my iPad just next to my MacBook Pro, and as I swipe along to the side, it will actually move the cursor from one screen to the other, and they work completely independently, unlike Sidecar. The big advantage here is I still get all of the iPad features that I know and love. For example, being able to use Vectornator, and then just dragging that vector file all the way across from the iPad straight to the Mac. And this can happen vice versa as well. It's just another way of being able to bring all your devices together in one place. We have AirPlay for Mac now. So basically, you can play your audio from your iPhone or iPad straight on your Mac speakers, so you can make the most of them. We now have shortcuts as well. There was always a way to automate on the Mac, but bringing shortcuts across makes it even easier to actually automate many of the simple everyday tasks you do on your Mac. There was also a new redesigned Safari. Namely, you can now add multiple tabs to tab groups. So I can have a tab group for work, a tab group for holidays, and whatever else I decide. It was also a visual overhaul, so now the top bar looks a little bit different, and I'll take it or leave it. It doesn't look great, but I don't care too much as long as I can still surf the web. We also get extensions for Safari on iPad and iPhone. This means that things like Honey can travel wherever I do, whatever device I'm on. Now that is really exciting to me because I've always wanted to be able to use Honey on my iPad and my iPhone while I'm shopping, because I'm very rarely shopping on my Mac. So that was a really, really quick overview of everything that Apple had to say. Well, it wasn't everything, there was a lot more stuff, but this was the stuff that I felt was important and I wanted to share with you guys. If you feel like I missed anything in this video, or you just want to drop in and say hi, let me know in the comment section down below. Also get subscribed if you're new, because it really does help me and the channel out. My name's been Robert, this has been Review Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.